As the biggest Disney fan event of the year rapidly approaches, Disney's DAS situation is getting worse. In fact, it's getting so bad that a group called DAS Defenders has crowdfunded a billboard, an electronic billboard, to be in front of the event, saying they will be heard. Let's talk about them reaching their fundraising goal here on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is Mr. VashSky. Vash, this is an interesting story, and I'm glad that we've got you here. You have experience with the DAS system, and we've obviously been reporting on this here today. I'm appreciative for your take. Can you give us an update for what's going on with the DAS system at Disney for anyone who just doesn't understand what's going on?
Absolutely. So the DAS system, or the Disability Access Service, is a system that was previously allowed for people with a disability in order to reserve an advanced reservation for an attraction and then get semi-immediate access to that attraction after that reservation period is up. So you can think of it as essentially like the Genie Plus service, which did actually use the Lightning Lane route for much of the access connected with DAS, but it incorporated all the attractions, and there obviously wasn't a cost attached to it. Well, you can kind of see the issue here when Lightning Lane became a segment of the company that really the company was relying on for revenue and so forth. Well, you saw Lightning Lane services increase, or their rate of use increase, but not actually Lightning Lane sales. And well, that was connected to an increase, a dramatic increase actually, in DAS usage. So Disney cracked down on that, reimagined the system, if you will, and now the standards by which you can actually get a DAS has gone up dramatically, leaving a lot of people who feel that they have a disability and who could make use of the service. Well, they have turned them down in spades. And so that's kind of leads us to the controversy here, in which DAS Defenders, a group looking to, well, maybe turn this around, maybe has a presence at an upcoming event.
Right. And I'll point out that there are events that are going to be within the parks where people who are disabled are deciding to meet in the parks wearing a specific color. They're saying they're not protesting. They're all just doing a meetup in the parks on this day in solidarity so that they can be seen. That I don't want to call it a protest, but a demonstration. I don't know what the best way to phrase that is, but this is an issue that I think is a bad look for Disney, to be rejecting people that by most definitions of the word would be considered disabled as far as the Americans with Disabilities Act goes. Now, there is, of course, that the lines have been widened at Disney parks, and a lot of the rides after a certain point, after the Americans with Disabilities Act was passed, that Disney went ahead and expanded their queues in a way that you don't necessarily have to get out of a wheelchair until you are getting into your ride, things like that. And so they would say that they're compliant at this point. I'm presenting the other side, even though I think Disney has not handled the DAS situation well. We're also seeing signs that Lightning Lane is quote unquote fixed, and I'm saying that with a heavy dose of salt there. It's gotten better in the parks, and standby queues are a little bit more in line with what they need to be. Obviously, there's going to be a video on this channel talking about Lightning Lane Multipass and the disaster that is for the company. But Vash, do you have anything to say before we get to the story, which we don't want to delay too long?
Yeah, definitely don't want to delay on this a little bit. I have been tracking the Lightning Lanes and seeing the wait times attached to those specific queues. Those are separate from the standby queues. And like you said, Jonas, they have gone down for sure, but it's left a lot of people in the cold. We actually had a story here on That Park Place talking about a woman who was confined to a wheelchair, actually had a breathing apparatus in order to assist her. I think anybody looking at this would go, okay, look, listen, if we were to give DAS to somebody, it would likely be somebody in that position. And yet she herself didn't even qualify. And I think that raised a lot of eyebrows and raised a lot of concerns that we weren't servicing a community that desperately needed services like this.
Yep, agreed. Now, the DAS defenders are fighting back. Forgive me, we wanted to make sure we had the context for anyone who is arriving here for the first time. We have a lot of people who check out our channel for the first time when we do videos like this. So wanted to leave in context just to make sure everyone understood it. This out of Disneyland News Today by Shannon Ace. DAS defenders reach fundraising goal for Billboard at D23. Again, D23 It's supposed to be the ultimate fan event. It happens at Anaheim. Despite the branding, it is true. It is a big event for Disney. It is Disney's official convention run by Disney, the only place where you're really going to find a lot of people who are fans of Disney, because you're not seeing a lot of them at Comic-Cons that are not run by Disney these days. More on that on other videos. The DAS Defenders, who formed in response to Disney's controversial Disability Access Service changes, hope the Billboard will spread the word about their concerns and get their message directly in front of Disney executives, press, and influencers. They've been raising money via GoFundMe campaign. The quoted cost of the Billboard plus GoFundMe's cut was $1,600, which they have already raised. The Billboard, by the way, if we're going to go over here to that, this is to help fund a disability inclusion billboard. We have an opportunity to use a billboard truck to show the importance of disability inclusion near a big event. I noticed they leave out the name of the event there, probably in order to make sure this goes through. The truck would run for 8 hours on public roads with art on 3 sides. If we raise $1,600, we would have enough to cover the truck. If we raise another $900 above that, we would have enough to set up an official nonprofit so that we can regularly fundraise, sell shirts, and do more to advance our cause and advocate for disability inclusion at places of joy, fun, relaxation, etc. Here it is, $1,550 for a mobile truck billboard, $900 quoted cost of forming an official nonprofit, GoFundMe taking a cut, total of $2,500. Anything raised beyond this will be used to further advocate, such as additional days of the billboard and online ads. And right here, as you can see, they've reached 2,920. That's above their stated goal, which is good. They also have a change.org petition here saying, stop excluding disabled people from Disneyland and Disney with new policy. This is an issue that I don't think everyone is aware of, all the changes that they have made. Now, here we go. The billboard will circle Anaheim Convention Center, the Disneyland entrance, and local hotels on public roads during D23. The billboard will include a QR code to their petition, which currently has almost 28,000 signatures. Vash, do you think that this will do it? Do you think that this will get enough press and enough traction that more people will be talking about what's going on with DAS?
Well, they have a shot, but it's more like a Hail Mary. You're praying for it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that 40-yard touchdown or whatever will actually make its mark. In this particular case, because you are going to get not only national press, but international press attached to the Disney D23 Ultimate Fan event, because you're going to have fans from all over the world come down. They're going to get as much media attention as they possibly could get, but is that going to be enough? It doesn't seem likely. It just seems that Disney's kind of on their own path, and they tell themselves internally, well, it's just noise. Forget the noise, forget the criticisms, forget the legitimate criticisms. Let's just keep going forward on our path and never admit that we were wrong while doing so.
Yeah,
they're going to take that stance with this.
I hate that is a fair point. Disney used to be a company that did messaging better than anybody else. Even getting a rejection letter for employment. I've met people who've been rejected for employment from Walt Disney. They said, wow, they even handled that in a way that was like gentle and didn't make you feel bad for not being considered for a position there. Now, of course, there will be people in the comments who read into that more than should be read into that. But this is a company that used to be impeccable in its messaging, and something changed maybe around 2020. I wonder if any great communicators left the company and were replaced at that point. Fascinating. And now we have all of this stuff about, oh, if you don't like this, you're an istophobe. If you like that, then if you're asking us to change anything, you are the problem. We're not the problem. It seems to be a very different philosophy than it used to be. Of course, this DAS situation also has bad communication attached to it, with people applying for DAS being told, practice waiting in a line at home. That being said, we want to throw this to our commenters. What do you think about this? Do you think this is going to lift all boats here and let people know what's going on with DAS? Do you think Disney will go ahead and make changes before D23, or just let us know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. Like this video if you like this video, and consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.